Mama, you're the best in the world. You're the best in the world. The compound effect of Baby Flo went down. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. Then my mom dies. Hey, hey, is my mare hurt? Oh, Cody, she bought a tendon. Cody, she bought a tendon. She bought a tendon. We gotta go do something great. The chapter's here. I didn't get to pick the book. So, yeah, I mean, I lied partially. Should anything happen to Baby Flo, I'll know that that moment happened. Oh, wow. I have such a big surprise coming up later. That looks better, right?
That looks really good.
Let's go break the internet, I guess. It's easy to feel like you're the only one in the world who's stuck, defeated, or barely holding it together. Remember that after the rain, there's always a rainbow. And after a storm, the sun always shines. Out of the darkness comes new light, new opportunities, another chance to stand back up and start a completely different chapter. We all need a little push sometimes, something or someone to remind us that dynasties don't just happen, they're made. If there's one thing I know about an end, it's that there's always a new beginning. Last we left off was just a chick trying to get her crap back together and make life go on.
From Dallas, Texas, and her name is Fallon Taylor.
And I'm happy to report that while every single year has got really crazy turns and twists and disappointments, some really cool things can happen too. Our main goal was to take the horses and get on the road and not forget, but to create some new energy that would kind of take the place of all of this worry. I have to tell you, like, from a grief standpoint, there's this like really hard dynamic between I'm going to grieve every day because I want to honor that person. And if I forget them, then I'm somehow betraying that person that I love so much. And at the same time, trying to fight through it and go, I love you. You're gone. We're going to do some new things, because that grief is like concrete shoes. I started to enter every single thing that I could, bearing in mind that Lolo had such a great year last year. And 21, I want to bring in this new energy. And I don't think it was my plan to run Hush Money, but I have been like just patiently waiting to get on her ever since she was started. I did start her myself, but I let somebody else fertility on her. And then watching her, I would just watch her and be like, I need to get on that horse. I need to get on that horse. I need to get on that horse. So I think I was just very itchy. She is emotionally complex, which is something I'm always drawn to. People, horses, whatever. Like, the surface says one thing, but like when you get to know that person underneath or that horse underneath, there's a whole lot, like it's just an onion full of layers. So as you peel Hush Money back, you're not just going to go up to her and she's not going to just love you. You have to like earn that from her. Look at her face and how sweet she looks now. Look at that face. Hi, sweet love. Hi. Yeah. Look at that kind eye on that baby girl.
Sweet lady.
Have you ever seen a horse so sweet, Cody? Besides all the
Yeah,
other
sounds
ones.
like Lola.
Besides all the other sweet, adorable, kind ones we have. Wow. When I have a horse that's like that, like a very simple horse, I kind of get bored right away. But a horse that's either really complex or has a lot of layers or is really, really smart and just really trying hard, those are the horses that I really click with. If you've got something that's very just simple-minded and just kind of, okay, whatever, I'm gonna get really bored and immediately gonna check out. So Hush Money's for sure my kind of horse. Also, my friends have all these big goals. And so, not to go into every single friend's goal, but a lot of my friends, every single one of my friends has a lot of really big goals for the year, which is really cool. Just in our private group text to cheer each other on and contribute to those parts. They could contribute back to mine. So it's really, really cool. But the one that is the most visible to the public also is Cody in the backseat. She's editing away, doing stuff like Unfiltered, which I feel like every single time we got a compliment on Unfiltered, people didn't realize that the girl sitting on the horse next to me is also the producer of such a cool show. Having Cody go on the road with this big goal of this is the year that she's going to fill her permit. Not only that, but she's riding one of my horses, one of my ranch raised babies. And so kind of just taking all of that energy and focusing it on that was really super important to us and was something that we could really get behind and cheer for.
From the South Dakota,
Yes, ma'am! Woo! I'm not saying that we wanted to pick the hardest thing in the world, but I'm saying we didn't go after something really easy. I was hoping to qualify in the top 4 of the WPRA Tour finals for the year like I did on Lolo before, because I think that would be really, really cool to do again and would get me into all of these big rodeos. That's my main goal as I go on the road, is to try to get in the top 4. Technically the top 2 would be ideal, but that's my goal that I'm going after on a horse that's never been to a pro rodeo before, never been to a performance, never been to anything like that, that's just been to a handful of futurities.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, you can see her fan club working on the big board. How about a shout out for one of the most wonderful ladies in our sport? That is world champion Fallon Taylor.
That's the big thing. I feel like Cody's got a lot of steam. Of course, I can't leave Poppy out of this. I feel like giving him something to cheer for. We kept just restating the goal.
How about a 16-9-0? There is your new leader.
I think now it's become a lot more comfortable for us to talk about Nene, talk about her like she's there, talk about what would happen if she was there. We're a lot more comfortable now. And you know how I know? She stole one of the rocks out of here and put it on top. I think it's really comfortable for us to make jokes about the good, the bad, and the ugly instead of just trying to glorify, what would be if she were here. Instead of glorifying it, really talk about like, she would hate this, or what a pain in the butt she would be to try to keep a mask on inside of a store, or like whatever it may be. So it's been really important for me that he always keeps a goal in the front of his mind all the time. He's now 82 this year. So, just him celebrating our wins. Every time Cody wins, I'm telling you, this guy freaks out. Every time I win, he freaks out.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
So just seeing him be a part of those goals, he's really invested and an amazing dad, and he gets on the road with us and he goes like crazy. And listen, it's so tough on the road. So he's been through it all, breakdowns and flat tires and engine trouble and horse trouble, the gamut that he's used to. So Babyflo, it's hard to leave her. It's really hard to walk away. It's especially hard knowing this is my 2nd year. I feel like, again, instead of grieving the fact that I don't get to run her, even though I want to throw a fit, and I have thrown a fit. I have cried about the fact that I wish I were just on a finished horse. Like, I just want to be on a finished horse at a rodeo where I know I'm going to get a check every time, or at least get really close every time.
Fallon Taylor will win. Fallon Taylor on Babyflo.
I've thrown really selfish fits. Of course, it's been just with me and my husband, or, me and myself, but I've thrown those fits. It's perfectly normal. I don't carry that over into my day-to-day. I let it last for minutes, not hours, not days, not weeks. I don't talk about it because I don't want to bring more of that energy into my day. But I miss running her. I do. I think anybody would. If you have, a beautiful, healthy horse standing there looking at you, just while we shoot this, she's staring through a window. She's been looking at me for the whole first few minutes. So it's hard to not just saddle that horse and be a little selfish about it and go run her, but she's done enough. It's time to go get some checkups. Our big goal is that, maybe sometime this year I can take her through the barrels kind of fairly quickly would be cool. I would like to get approved. My big goal for her is to get approved to make 1 run a year starting in 22. I know where I want to run her now, which took all of this year to kind of get my mind around, and I wanted to visualize where it was that I was going to run her so that I can start meditating about that and visualizing something better and hoping for something better. So I'm going to take her to the vet, and we're going to go visit with Dr. John. It's early on in the year, but I want to see where she's at, see what we're doing, how we're doing. We put so much work into this. I think most of our time is consumed between one of us going over to the equine rehab center and getting laser treatment and just hoping that we get approved for aquatread, and a little bit of walking would be really, really cool. So we'll just see what rehab brings. That looks better, right?
That looks really good.
Yes. Look at that rainbow.
Look it! It's because she can trot. What do you think? Hello. What do you think about that? She trots. No big deal. It's fine.
The appointment with Dr. John went really well. I only cried a little bit. It's going to be a while until I can go to Dr. John and not cry every single time. But based on the things he said was that, the tendon's never going to be normal. This is never going to be okay. You're never going to see Babyflo running full time in a pro rodeo season ever again. I understand that. I'm okay with that. I've really wrapped my head around that and how blessed I am to have all of these offspring that she's left us. It's such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. So I'm no longer regretful of that, and I still have hope, but it's a different kind of hope where it's not such a selfish hope. Anybody would have a selfish hope if your horse was only 15. She's not 26. It's not. I don't think it's so crazy for me to have wished that I could have rodeoed on her for at least another year. But knowing now the great news that I can take her to swim, we can do aquatread, and we'll just increase that over time. So with every checkup, it will be, a little bit more aquatread, then we'll add aquatread with incline, and as long as we keep progressing, at some point, 60, maybe 90 days, I can start walking and trotting while being on her back, which would be amazing. So that's what we're hoping for.
I got it, but it still scared me.
My heart is in my butt. My heart is in my butt.
So we're headed for a follow-up, going to see Dr. John and check on Babyflo and see how we have been progressing. So I picked Babyflo up this morning, and she looks incredible. She looks like a show horse, and she was able to increase her workload just a little bit. Vet-wise and real-life-wise, I think we're on track. We're doing really great, but life lesson-wise, having to slow down and rely on these horses like me trusting them a little bit more. I'm really not looking for anything from Dr. John other than we can add a little bit more workload onto Babyflo and that we're going to continue the progress going forward. I think during this time what this has shown me is like, as much as I hate to admit it, we don't need Babyflo right now. You know, we need to give her the chance to continue to heal. And the fact that I was diligent in preparing for this moment 5 years ago kind of makes me want to stop and pat myself on the back a little bit, that I knew there was a time when she could rest and to not just keep pushing and trying to get water from a stone on a horse that really has given me her all and deserves a chance to rest. Let's see what Dr. John has to say. Babyflo was cleared for me to not only get on her back and not only for me to walk and trot, but I've actually been cleared to lope around and to go around the barrels. So I'm very excited. I'm of course playing this very safe. I want to get that approval to be able to run her once a year. That's what we're working on. That's what we're working toward. I'm taking it very easy on her. I haven't gone around the barrels as much as I probably should have at this point because I'm just concentrating on her being in really, really great shape. But I am following doctor's orders almost to a T. I will push it. I just haven't pushed it probably as hard as I can. I'm just nervous like anybody would be. Through this process, Alex and I set a goal to try harder to get pregnant. I get this question a lot, and I'm trying to be as kind as I can to people's ignorance. I think that over the last couple of years, we've forgotten that people aren't full of hatred, that there aren't all of these people trying to vilify each other, that there are a lot of people that simply just don't understand a lot of things. And so I'm trying to have the most etiquette when it comes to people being really ignorant about certain things, and that not all women can bear children, and not all women can just get pregnant. Every time you do a question box on Instagram, every time, just watching Jessie give birth to Harlow, the minute that baby came out, it was, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to have more kids? When is Harlow getting brother and sister? The whole time that, people are asking me, when are you going to have kids? Are you going to have kids? Are you going to have kids? I understand that people mean well and they just want to know more about your journey, but you never know what somebody's going through.
So this is what a baby is?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. What kind of model are you?
That's my baby.
Yes. When are you having kids?
Is she
when are
smoking?
you having kids?
Well,
Hey, internet, that's rude.
That's rude.
You don't say that.
You
don't say that.
nice.
When Jesus custom
We have a
orders
nice
us one of
smelling
these,
baby.
we will have one.
Yeah, sweet lady.
We have
She's a sweet lady.
Do you want to do one of these things?
Yeah, I would like one of those.
What kind of model do you
I
want?
don't know. I would like a
Boy or a girl?
I would
Model
like
S.
to have a boy. It'd be a very arranged marriage.
Arranged
That is true.
Yes.
But I want a girl I want to look exactly like Fallon.
Yeah.
Well,
I would like a boy with a mohawk and tattoos.
yes.
Is that
Yes.
what you're looking for someday?
I'll save this
I
for
would
the
like-
pregnancy series.
Yes.
I would really like to custom order a boy.
Yes.
Please.
Because that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be fabulous.
Am I supporting
Their
their
son?
I don't
Shut
know
up.
what to do.
What if
So
their
cute.
son?
I might have named her on
So cute.
purpose.
So cute.
So cute. So I'm going to come in hot. I don't know when. Later. Don't ask. Don't put that in the comments. It's rude.
We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it.
Cool. Alex and I decided we're going to try really hard, even though I'm on the road and I'm actively competing. I made over 25 doctor's appointments to go in and see what's going on. Can we make this happen? We never look at a broodmare that's 18 and we just go, oh, that's just it. Like, there's so many different things you can do. And just with Babyflo and our experience with embryos, you can flush embryos, you can put it in a recipient mare, you can do all of these crazy things. But for us, I just was like, okay, well, if I need a surrogate, or if I need, maybe we need to look into adoption, or, what are the things that we can do? So Alex and I have tried for 3 years. We thought, we just didn't know. We just didn't have enough knowledge about how complex this can be. So 25 doctor's appointments in between every rodeo, trying really, really hard to make this happen, and we're just running into roadblock after roadblock. The coolest thing about my journey has been how many times I've been told that something's not going to happen, and how many times we've been able to put so much energy behind that thing that we've been able to get through it. So I've been able to walk when they said there was a 2% chance. Babyflo made it through surgery when there was almost no chance that she was going to make it through surgery. Now here we are with this tendon, almost no chance that I'm going to be able to sit on her back ever again. Once again, I get the news, there's a 2% chance, 1% chance that you will produce eggs and, advanced maternal age and all of these crazy things. So Alex and I looked into doing IVF. We had run all the tests, we'd gone all the way through, and we were ready to make some decisions, and kind of thought, that's probably the only way. And we're actively on the rodeo road, so it's really tough to make all of these decisions. When we came home from a little break, I had done so much research, and that's one thing that I really appreciate. Nene left behind a legacy of research. Now, because of all the questions that doctors couldn't answer for us, and all of the stones that went turned trying to find answers for ourselves, we've learned so much. Through that process, I learned about a procedure that really ups your chances. It takes 15 seconds, something that every single person that goes through the IVF process, they have you do. And so I went in, boots and spurs, into the IVF clinic, and I had this 15-second procedure, no big deal. And I walked out, and as I was walking out, the doctor said, I just want to let you know, there's no point to even try. So there's really no point for you guys to, get your hopes up. You need to sign this paperwork, you need to cut a big check, because that's literally your only chance. With that news, Alex and I decided we would hear that advice, but also take into consideration all the times we've been given that same diagnosis or prognosis about our future, and we would just keep visualizing and moving forward, and whatever was going to happen, because I couldn't do much from the rodeo road. We scheduled around our rodeos based on the reproductive system of could we make this happen, and it was not successful. I wish that this was talked about more regularly, because a lot of people go through so much. So we decided, okay, we heard your news, we get it, we're gonna go about our own plan, understanding your advice, but we're gonna keep rodeoing and just see, whatever gives. Maybe when I come home in the fall, we will hopefully have some better news. In the meantime, we are going to go gather tour points kind of all over the country. So it is now time for hush money to see if she can come into her own. I won a pro rodeo on her after having to drive all night with no rest.
You're fixing to watch a world champion, Dallas, Texas, very own Fallon Taylor.
Ready or not?
It's so exciting, because I think you remember every first rodeo that you win on a horse, and to win at the pro rodeo level is such a big deal. So now we're going to travel back up east and see if we can get some points up there in Goshen, Connecticut, which we do love going up east. We just wish there was more when we went up that way. But I got another really cool win on hush money. But right before I went to go, there were some people asking me for pictures and to sign things and whatever else. And I just looked at Cody and I was like, I'm not doing well. Like something is super, super wrong. She ran and got me a glass of water and I was like, this is not going well. Then I thought like, oh, this is, a whole nother thing. We've hauled all the way to Connecticut. Now I don't feel well. It was a rough trip for sure, because we'd already been through so much to this point that it just kind of felt like bad timing. However, I did win the rodeo on hush money and placed, and then I won the jackpot on Flowbot. I had a feeling that maybe if I'd lucked out and everything had aligned right, like maybe this sickness was a good thing. So it was a very long drive home from Goshen, Connecticut. And I called Jessie and I was like, this is how I'm feeling. And she was like, I think this is good news, but I don't want to get your hopes up, but I really think this is great news. And I drove home as fast as I could. And of course, not telling Poppy anything because I just wanted to make sure. He loves to talk. If you've met my dad, he loves to talk and he loves to tell stories. And you can't stop him, and he has no filter. It took us a couple of days, and then we got home at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I rushed in to see Alex, and I let him know how I was feeling. And I went to take a test.
Where do you want to put the nursery?
Is it positive? Nuh-uh.
And it was such a relief and an incredible moment to know that we're finally pregnant. And so that was the coolest thing ever, to drive all the way and know that we're finally pregnant.
Happy car vlogs. Happy car vlogs. Okay, so Alex and I, when we got back from Connecticut, just found out that we're pregnant. Somebody sent me this beautiful saddle, kind of a tribute to my mom. It's gorgeous, gorgeous saddle. And it says Nene on the front, and I was like, how cool would it be to ride double on Babyflo with the Nene saddle and make a little run? Like just kind of make a little run. Like a little tiny run. Just like a little tiny run. So I just cruised her through, tiny little cruise through, and just thought, that's the way to bring the baby into the world. It's just like, should anything happen to Babyflo, I'll know that that moment happened in the Nene saddle. Basically, I rode triple. I had the spirit of Nene on the booty, I had the baby in the belly, and then Babyflo. So it was today was a cool day. Really cool day.
Of course, like now starts the constant worry of, is everything going to be okay? I've been told all these really horrible things. Is baby going to be healthy? Is everything going to go the right way? Is my job too intense and too tough that it somehow harm this process? Now, and of course, now I've got Dad in the passenger seat next to me as I'm trying to hide this and keep it to myself. I don't know, I'm like 7.5 weeks at this point, and I have an aversion to this taste, but I've learned that if I don't have a full belly, then the probability of me thinking I'm going to throw up is very, very, very high. And there's got a combo of salty and sweet and this all-natural, sugar-free ginger ale, and that's as good as we can do.
Pack of saltines.
Pack of saltines. I've learned that if I drink any type of
soda, which I'm only drinking like Sprite or ginger ale, if I drink any kind of soda with sugar in it, that it's like my day is done, which I'm not. We're not sugar drinky people anyway. It just sounds good. So anyway, water, all-time new records for water.
My favorite thing is Poppy doesn't suspect a thing.
He doesn't suspect a thing. It's not abnormal for me to just like demand fresh vegetables and fruit.
This is true.
Because that's who I am. But I've been sick every morning and breathing like this all day to avoid puking. And then like I've had to pee an exorbitant amount of times. And we have a cookout coming up in like 10 days. So I'm gonna be wearing them boxy t-shirts for all this bloat and just be like, girl, I'm bloated. I eat this many pretzels on the road. Been driving. Okay, chill.
You're like, we just didn't work out. And we just ate bad. It was such a crazy trip. Crazy trip.
Anyway, this baby was full of fruit. A whole lot of folate. Whole lot. And now it's time to saddle. Here we go.
To the saddle.
My friends who are the real ones, and I really appreciate them, never let a whisper of this get out, even to their family members. They had this locked down where nobody has known, and was able to keep this under wraps so that I could continue to compete per my doctor's advice that I would be just fine, that I needed to just increase calories a little bit, rest as much as I could. Cody just really became the rock behind the wheel. It went from me never letting Cody drive to me being like, can you drive now? And her driving the majority of the time everywhere, and lifting all the hay and the grain and whatever else. And it was pretty funny because Poppy never caught on. I would just make myself just super inconvenient to be bothered when we would buy feed or buy hay or whatever. I would just like, oh, I need to take a call. And I'd run off and Cody would arrange like either loading it or getting someone to help us. So we're just trying to trick him the entire time. Getting these really cool accomplishments, I would text home and get the text back of, look, it's the world's fastest fetus. And winning fourth at Greeley, I think was like my coolest moment because, you know, nobody knew. I wasn't showing. I got to win fourth. It was a huge accomplishment for such a young horse.
It's a 17.40.
Fourth at Greeley, bro. Can you believe it?
To have, you know, me with baby winning rodeos, placing at these giant rodeos, and then I kind of thought that we would have to quit in July. It is time to get on the road for the summer run.
I'm gonna win some monies. My turn to win some monies.
Yeah. Now my summer run is not a traditional one. I go to a lot of different rodeos that a lot of girls don't go to right now. I have a lot of goals that I want to meet, and I've given myself until July 4th to meet them. I'm already a third of the way there toward the goal that I want to hit for myself for this year. So why don't we just make this happen in 17 days? I'm going to try to like really put myself under pressure. I tend to do really well that way. So I'm under pressure, Cody's under pressure, and we have 17 days to get this done. I have such a big surprise coming up later for all of you guys to show you about my journey on the rodeo road and all of those amazing things way down the road that I will show you. But this time crunch is simply to give myself a deadline. That was when I thought like mid-July I'm going to be done because, you know, I'm probably going to be showing to the point that it's unsafe, and then we'll just keep, you know, consulting our doctors every single checkup, and I would have to come home, and I would just tell Poppy that I was coming home for, you know, fertility.
We're going to our first baby appointment.
Yeah.
And it is July 9th,
Yeah.
21.
Friday, we're going to the witch doctor.
And because Alex, I want to have a home birth. And Alex is like, are we going to meet a witch doctor behind the Waffle House? Because you're so extreme. But we're going to a really beautiful place, I think. This came highly recommended. And we're going outside of Dallas to McKinney, which is like 30 minutes away, to kind of audition the first midwife and I have my doula picked out and a midwife and like
the Branch Davidian Birthing Center.
The horses have babies in stalls and pastures, and we don't interfere, and it goes great. So I would also like to do it that way because that's what I was created to do. This body was created to do very few things on its complete own, and this is one of them, and I would like to experience that.
We have a heartbeat. We're good.
That's so cool.
This is our baby. So, okay. So,
Sorry.
you're okay. It's an emotional time. So, okay, so we're gonna hear a heartbeat here. It's okay, you moved.
Sorry.
It's okay, we'll get it back. We'll get it back. Okay, hold your breath. So,
That sound good?
yes. So we will measure, and here it is 178, which is a perfectly normal heartbeat.
I mainly didn't want to tell anybody, one, because should I experience the loss that so many people experience, I don't want to have to tell the world about it. You know, now that Unfiltered 5 is out, you know, whatever difficulties we face, like, I totally understand, and I know so many of you guys being supportive of our journey. For Alex and I and our entire family, I'm ready to be surrounded by that love now. I'm ready to be surrounded by that support system, but I just wasn't ready at that point. We've been through so much. I just didn't want to have to answer to everyone. And I don't want to answer, you know, are you going to have another one? Are you whatever, you know, people can just be really, really ignorant about that. But it was just so cool because even in our group text, my friends didn't know that I was, because I wasn't showing it all. My friends didn't know, like, that was an accomplishment while pregnant. Like, this was an accomplishment while pregnant. Like, I did that drive while pregnant. Like, we hit all those rodeos while pregnant. It was just the coolest thing. And shout out to the cowgirls that made this look doable and easy, that have done this before. Shout out to my doctors for being really great about believing in me and understanding that this is what I've done for my entire life, and believing in my body. And I haven't had to push it with them. I haven't had to, like, kind of squeeze the line. I've done everything that they've told me to do to this point.
It's her pre-rodeo routine these days. She's eating a hot dog. She's eating a hot dog in bed. Yesterday she was eating Cheez-Its.
And also
Watching $1 Million Listing. You know, we used to be like, in the gym.
I'm because it's like a sale holiday online, so I just bought a crib, I bought a mattress, 40 off, and I bought breast pumps.
Nice. We're balling. This is how much fun we have.
That's what we're doing.
And soon our pre-run routine will be just baby
Right here.
just taking a snap.
Yeah, I bought a Duna thing, so car seat, and it showed up today, and Alex and I have low-key been texting each other like, we're having a baby then, I guess. And the stroller just showed up. It feels so real.
It's real.
I mean, it feels real when I try to put wraps on my horse and Cody has to take them off. Because I can only, like, I have only bend over once per day.
And I'm cool with it.
Thank God.
I was gonna walk her horse today, and then I was like, nah, she better walk a little bit.
It's like me to
Gotta make her
stalls.
walk. Hopefully she had everyone fooled. I believe.
I think I fooled some people.
I'm sure a few negative Nancy's are like, she's getting a little thick in the midsection.
At least it hasn't gone here yet.
No.
But it's gonna.
It's barely gone anywhere, but
It's like
just
gonna.
like, she's enjoyed some chipotle.
Yeah. Look at her pulling over to snack every 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bon appetit.
Pre-run routines.
So I kept this secret from just about everyone until about 14 weeks. And then I told Poppy, and I mainly told Poppy, and, like, bless his heart, but he was low-key calling me fat because I could not, in the nicest possible way. But every time I pull over, I'd be like, I need more food. I need more food. I need more food. And he'd be like, my God, Angel, like, man, you're gonna have to watch it, and hush money, we might have to change some of your equipment around. And it took every bone in mine and Cody's body to not be like, listen, I'm pregnant. I need food right now. So we went through that for a while. It was hard to keep it because, it was almost 4 months of me having Cody do absolutely everything and just constantly being hungry / might throw everything up. So it was tricky waters to navigate.
Here, I'll pull it into it again. All right, come here, little thing. Hi! Oh, you're waving? You saying hi to your mom and dad? So you can see the little fortune river right there. Okay, let's turn that off, and then I'm gonna see what cool pictures we can get.
I'm happy to report that nobody caught us the whole time until I wanted to decide that I felt like I was done. So I asked Jackie Hobbs Crawford.
At 6 months pregnant, she's competing.
I've asked every mother I know on the road, just discreetly, about I have some questions about how long did you ride? Or what did you feel like? Or what did this feel like? And they were so gracious to give their, information. I think Brittany, I just was like, oh, how many months along? Or I think I looked up an article on Brittany Posey, and she was like, she just knew at a certain time to stop. And Jackie Crawford told me the same thing. She was like, well, if you ever get pregnant, you'll just know that's the time to stop. And that time has come for sure. This is a pro rodeo, but it's in our backyard. It has been raining all week for us here, but the ground here looks just chef's kiss. So 1, a lot of rodeos are better when they're completely underwater. 2, it's dry. So I'm curious, are we gonna get out running the perfs, or did we grab the best ground that there will be because there's more rain coming? So that's to be determined at a later date. We're waiting in the truck. There's a couple of more events, and then we're gonna get on horses. So I'll be riding Roman, and Cody will be riding Mojo. And this is our second to last rodeo until we kind of hang it up for work vibes, until, springtime vibes.
Hang it up for work vibes.
So yeah, I lied partially, but this, I have this run, and then I have WPRA finals run. Waco, sorry, Waco. I'm gonna suck it in for Cody's runs at the Pink Buckle, and it's not cold enough to wear a sweatshirt, so I'm just having to I'm straight up maternity jeans.
Maternity jeans at the rodeo.
I'm maternity jeans at this rodeo, so I'm just trying to look everybody dead on, straight on. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, so the baby is doing really well. Every single one of my doctors and midwives and doulas and all of those people say, do whatever your body has been doing for the last 30 years. You're totally fine. Of course, I'm making really heavy decisions about, just like at Altus.
What did we just do?
We just turned out, walked up to the gate and said, no thank you, sir. That is too risky.
Not up in here. Not up in here.
If the ground's not perfect, then I don't go, or if the horse is too rough. For me, I'm done with Flowbot, just because he's so strong, and I'm feeling that's just a little bit too intimidating right now for me. But I do plan, judge or judge me not, I do plan on riding a horse all the way to 9 months. I know my husband's gonna have a stroke over it.
Don't mean competition.
But
but we could walk and trot or something.
But yeah, just walking. I just want to get on a horse. If they're telling me to bounce,
for your mental health.
Yes, and yeah, so I don't just start clawing the paint off the walls. If I'm supposed to be on a bouncy ball spread eagle for 4 hours a day, I can get on a horse. I could walk around on that bouncy ball for 10 minutes or so. So I'm very excited. Everything is super normal, going super well. I hope that there's no curveballs to that statement. I hope that everything's cool. Yesterday, what's funny, Cody, is yesterday we were able to see facial things, little things, and the doctor was like, oh, no cleft palate. And I was like, that never crossed my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And like, who cares? I was like, okay, but how is the baby's heart? And she was like, I just want to commend you, because I've never had anybody say, how is the heart, and not, how is the cleft palate? I never thought of that, because who cares, right? Like, just,
Okay, that's good.
yeah, nobody cares. I don't care. How the hocks, how the pasterns, long mane, sound back, how we doing? How the hooves? So anyway, that's all going really good. And so I am just gonna, and we are workaholics this time of year, because like Black Friday and, you know, NFR and all of those things. So I get to say a lot of this is work related online until I reveal this bad boy. And I'm feeling like, because I am that chick that's tall, I've been able to get away with a lot.
Long torso.
Yeah, we've been getting away with a lot.
And we fully planned to stop rodeo July 17th.
Yes, yeah.
We had July 1st, we were like, we're going to rodeo 17 days.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's going to be it.
Lasted the whole season and then some.
And we're at October 1st, so I'm hoping that I get to go to World Show. That's my big thing, is October 29th. And based on the doctor appointment yesterday, it's feeling like I'm going to be able to go. I've gained 6 pounds, so it's not like, you know, I'm right where I need to be and everything feels like good. So anyway, fingers crossed.
22 weeks.
22 weeks. 21 weeks. 21 weeks.
Oh yeah, 21 weeks.
Yeah, 21 weeks right now. Wednesday.
21 and a half.
Yes, 21 and a half, almost 22 weeks. We're crushing this. Yeah. It's really, really hard to do this when you're hiding something.
It needs to be said. Just a normal, you know, just a normal vlog moment.
It's really hard to do this when you feel really not great.
I was like, wouldn't it Fallon be one routine? Once again, she just lays down, and I put the boots on her horse, and that's it.
We always tease that Jessie was just like a bowl of rainbow and sunshine and glowing and gorgeous and smiling and wonderful. And I know she didn't always feel like that, but like I've been the polar opposite of just like, I've been green and throwing up and thinking I was going to throw up for days and days and days on end with absolutely no relief.
That is 12 midnight. Noodles.
My heartburn is so bad. And here's the thing too, because like we haven't told people, so Jessie like texted me the other day. It was so nice of her, because she was like, just, you know, because nobody knows that you're doing all this, you know, super pregnant, like, congrats, you're killing it. And here it is midnight, and I'm eating Vietnamese pho in bed. Thinking, because in my brain, carbs make the heartburn go down.
I mean, that's the logic I have usually. It's like, my stomach hurts, better eat something.
Like a better, Cody's solution for everything is lie flat. And it's been working. And today is just like a little bit tougher. Here's the thing, I'm not 14 weeks. So 14 weeks was like hell on earth of like, I'm gonna die. Now I just have like Superman strength. Like I think I could yeet Cody like 10 yards. Like I feel like
you
I could
shall yeet hush money around 3 barrels.
Yes. So anyway, the more bland it is, the better. I have just gone very white in the kitchen.
Noodles.
Potatoes.
No. Noodles at midnight. I'll make a song.
I need my own commercial break for bedtime snacks. Hot dogs are out. No more.
That's gone. That was last week. That was 3 days ago. Noodle time.
Noodles and potatoes.
Just having a really, really hard time that I thought I was going to get relief. Everybody's like, oh, it's only for like, you know, this many weeks. And then I got like a 1 day break from that. And then it just started all over again. I feel like garbage. Still feel like garbage. No. Okay. You know what? Let me just let my belly hang out. I think that's what there we go. Okay.
Bad that time.
Things that will be in Unfiltered. Okay. I think I'm gonna throw up. Lay flat. So you know those people like Jessie that their pregnancy is like a glowing you're like, oh my God, you're glowing, you're so beautiful, oh my God. And she was like happy, and like, you remember, she just like break out laughing at everything that she did, was just like hilarious, and like bad shit.
But she did get to rest the appropriate amount.
She did do that. I'll give her that. This, however, oh, that's our rodeo alarm. It's right there. Thanks, Co. I'm one of those people that like, I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. But I feel like I'm dying in the process, but I'm doing it. I really am. I hope that when you watch this that you're like, she did it. She's such a baddie. Because I almost threw up in my car today. That's how much I'm not doing it. Certain genders, they're like, oh, with this gender it's this, and with that gender it's that, and with this gender you'll know this, and this gender you carry it like this, and with that gender you carry it like that, and with this gender you'll... That's all bullshit malarkey. I'm just saying. I think it's like, if you've been driving 15 hours a day and flexing as hard as you can to conceal this, then you probably have worn your entire system out, and like, that's on you. So anyway. And I've been getting to ride this guy around at a walk because he babysits me. And I love him for that. And he just walks around and lets me give him treats and brush his mane. And that's like, I'm at level pony ride. And it's great.
Level pony ride. Insert 2 years.
Yeah.
Nice. Laying in the dirt holes, these two.
Woo!
Beautiful. Wow, Nancy.
Level pony ride. I follow a lot of bodybuilders that are also pregnant, like 9 months pregnant, like super pregnant, and they're like squatting 200 pounds. And so I'm like, I'm fine. Women are so tough. So I haven't had many days of relief, and I'm tired now. I've been tired. I'm tired. My thought is this. I was going to be waiting a lot longer to make this announcement because I wanted to try to make it to World Show. I have a rule when it's running, and that is, if we are scared, we should not run. So the rule is basically we say broadside for first. I don't feel as athletic. I'm still doing it. Kudos to me. This is hard. However, I don't feel like I can broadside for first. The cost outweighs the reward for me right now. I don't want to harm myself. I don't want to harm this baby. I don't want to, even though I've done this for 30 years and I'm making it look really easy, even with additional weight, it's not something that I can do to the best of my ability. So I'm kind of feeling like I need to let you guys know. And like maybe turn out the World Show. I really wanted to go to the World Show. I kind of had it in my mind, like, oh, I was gonna, like, whatever. I'm still, like, able to get away with, like, whatever, because, you know, your girl has stayed in pretty decent shape. I think the time is here. It's a lot of entry fees, but the cost, again, does not outweigh the reward for me, so let's go break the internet, I guess. Jesse told me a long time ago I had a gift of having a long torso, and that front on I would be able to get away with just absolute murder on Instagram or other pictures. So if you guys have seen me, you've seen me front on, and I've been holding it down because I have a certain body type. So please, Lord, don't compare yourself, because I know everybody does this different. This is how I've been getting away with this. So 24 weeks, but from the side, and I'm a little poofier than normal, but yeah.
It's just because she can't let the world know.
I just, finally, it's out. Here we are. Catch me in leggings. How about that? From the side, you for sure I can't get by anybody now. I used to just be like, oh, she's had some Chipotle. Oh, sis has been to the buffet.
Wait, I gotta film your current predicament. She forgot.
I forgot my large pants, so I'm wearing mediums. And they're on, okay? Like, let's be real.
She just had a lot of Chipotle, and the Chipotle
For
is...
everyone that has screenshotted my Insta stories or any kind of action shot and sent it to their friends saying, look how much weight she's gained, she's so fat. I hope you feel bad. For all of those that have been like, you know what, she looks human today. Wings in heaven for you, okay?
Yeah.
20-point deduction for you if you made fun of me and didn't know. I hope you feel bad.
Like now it's you can tell. So I still plan on riding. I still plan on being athletic and hitting up the gym and doing all the things that I'm doing, just at a much slower pace and a much lighter pace. You know, some disappointing things that happened this year was I didn't end up in the top 4. I ended up 5th in the WPRA Tour, which means that I don't get to compete at some of those big rodeos that I worked so hard for. The bummer is because I qualified for all of them in 2020 and they were canceled, so it's really nothing that I could do. So I didn't meet that goal. I failed. You know, it was a bummer. Cody met her goal of filling her permit. It was the most incredible thing to watch.
The impact that Fallon has had, and the next talent that you're going to meet is, well, she's felt that impact. She's been mentored by that world champion, that 7-time national finalist, Cody Harmon. This is a young lady who is following in the footsteps of her hero and best friend. Mojo is the horse. Cody Harmon is the cowgirl. Got money from Michigan to Utah to Iowa. Wants to get some money out of Maryland. Riding a horse that is a champion in his own right. It's up to you, Cody. Let's fly.
Coming out from Plato, just north of Dallas, come on the one. Beautiful turn, sweet turn, and you look like 3. Come on, New Mexico, help Texas.
Comes in, goes out first one on the right as you're looking at him from where I'm standing. Over to number 2. Now this is a crowd participation sport. All you gotta do is hoop, holler, scream, and yell. Make some noise. Come on, Hector. Holy smokes! How about a 16-9-0? There is your new leader.
Go on, hurry! Yeah, hurry! Oh, go on! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Woo! Yeah, Co! I'm so proud of you.
There's been so many emotions of just watching Cody get better and better and better and bawling my eyes out at Ashley, North Dakota, and then crying again in Socorro, New Mexico. And like, it's been just a lot, and it's been so beautiful for us to just watch her blossom as a rider. We kept telling her all of these things would happen. And I'm not saying she was a non-believer, but from time to time, you know, you get discouraged from your journey, or you get where you start feeling like, you know, maybe that was for you, but not for me. Then all of a sudden, like, to see it all come together. Everything comes to fruition. So many amazing things happened this year. I'm happy to report that the majority of what has happened this year has been really, really positive despite all sorts of things.
So I'm on my way to our follow-up appointment. I think this is like our 4th or 5th follow-up appointment with Babyflo. We are 20 days past 1 year. So we're at 1 year and 10 days of the injury that occurred or showed up at Lamar, Colorado. Oh, Cody, she bought a tendon. Loading Babyflo in the trailer was super emotional today, and I had to pull over and just look at her because like having her in the trailer is a really emotional experience because I haven't had her in the trailer in over a year to go, like, I mean, I've been places, but I kind of in my mind, this is the appointment that maybe I get some good news.
I went one time with just a little bit of speed, just wanted to see, like, does it change? Does anything happen?
No snap.
She felt really good. I started bawling my eyes out, of course. And Alex was like, "Are these happy tears?" And I was like, "These are selfish tears. I want to run this horse everywhere. I love her so much. We are so bonded. And I want to put her in the trailer and want to take her on the road and I want to go have fun. But you know, we have other plans."
I am 30 minutes away and it couldn't get here faster. I mean, I am in a hurry to see this ultrasound. So I'll be back soon with a verdict.
We are approved for one run a year, one competitive run a year. And for that, we are so grateful. I know that run in the future with my family and my new baby watching will be extra special. The World Show will happen without me. I do not feel like I am in any shape to actually win. So I would just go, I would have to suck in the whole time. I would have to avoid obvious questions. And at this point, it just doesn't feel like I can be my best, and nobody wants to do anything, especially around here, nobody wants to do anything half-ass. I don't want to do that. I want to fully take in this beautiful moment of getting to be a mom and having this baby born. So in between road trips, we really, really, really wanted to know the gender. Of course, I'm hoping for a girl because I've got a whole barn full of barrel horses. That would be really cool. Not that guys can't do it too, but that was kind of in my plan. And you know, my plans have gone so well to this point. So I came home, Alex and I were so convinced that we're having a girl. So I needed the blood test, but I didn't need the blood test, but I got the blood test. And you know, advanced maternal age to scare the crap out of you. So we wanted to get tested for a multitude of reasons. The test came back and all of my health screening, baby's health screening, all was amazing, perfect. We were so grateful. But it was time to have the gender revealed to us. So it was like, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I told Cody, I was like, she offered, could she whip up something to do a gender reveal for us in true Cody style, like a full production. And so Alex and I had done a maternity shoot, which I wasn't showing much for, but I tried to puff my belly out. And she took that image and turned it into a really beautiful moment. Cody. Okay, we're ready. Okay, we're ready, Cody. We are having a baby boy. So we are so excited. The coolest part about my pregnancy is that we went in to get our due date, and our due date happens to be the day my mom passed away in 2020. So February 10th, 2022, we are due to have a beautiful little boy. and we're very excited. Of course, I know that due dates are flexible, but we knew that date is just really special to us and means a lot. So I think my mom thought I would never have kids. So jokes on all of us. I know a lot of really top career women, really top barrel racers, people at the top of their game kind of at anything, when, especially if they're entrepreneurial women, career women, all of those kind of women, when we surpass a certain age, we think that that's no longer possible for us. We're told a lot of times, depending on who you go to, just like I was, that that's not possible for you. But if you think in horse terms, I've never, ever, ever had a past maternal age mare that we didn't at least try, that we didn't believe in, that we didn't give the right medication, and it always has worked, almost every single time. So if you have lost hope, or if you've lost a pregnancy, or if you're not able to get pregnant as fast as your family wants, or your audience on Instagram, or any of these people that you're feeling pressure from, resist the urge to get mad at those people and just try to understand the ignorance that, you know, fairy tales are written a certain way, and children's books, and all the things that women are perceived to be. Very seldom are we portrayed as busy, goal-setting, entrepreneurial overachievers. A lot of times we're workaholics. We are so good at multitasking, and sometimes we just don't take the time to do our research and not take no for an answer. So I hope that if this is what you're hoping for, I hope you get it. I feel for everyone that has gone through something similar to this, because it's super not fun. I think that is a great life lesson for absolutely anything. You may not be on a fertility journey. You may be on trying to heal yourself from an injury that's been crippling, or a chronic disease. We have those that plague our family that we are battling every single day. Just know that there is hope. I just can't stress enough that visualizing something better, visualizing the impossible, is something that has always been so vital to my entire journey. And continuing to meditate on what's great instead of worrying about what's not. You can't worry and be grateful at the same time. And I've lived with that. I can tell you this, the heaviness of 2020 has been lifted, and I could not be more grateful for that. If you've been feeling that heaviness in your life, I pray that that goes away for you, because I felt like I was living under a boulder for, the entire last year, and this year to be really lighthearted. This year to be upset about being 5th in the WPRA Tour. This year to be upset that we aren't pregnant yet seems really easy. Not that I want failure to feel easy, but it feels nice to have something that's kind of just an added bonus for life. Like, isn't it so cool that we're so fortunate to be able to drive into a rodeo grounds that we've never been to before and hear them call our name and ride these amazing horses that Babyflo left us, even though she's not able to compete. Isn't it so cool that we're not in an office today, that we're making a run and a little girl's gonna smile because she thinks we look so cool? And isn't it so cool that we get to pout about not filling our permit yet, or not nailing the second barrel, or not nailing the third? Or isn't it so cool to have those as our chief complaints? I think that that's really, really, really been a blessing for our year. The business has grown exponentially, and I'm so grateful for every person that stays home to make sure that all the things that Ranch Dressin does actually gets done in a timely manner, and grateful for everybody that holds the fort down. The culmination of all the things this year has been so beautiful. So I can actually take a break. Cody and Jesse are going to be doing a lot of running barrels. I'm going to be doing a lot of cheering in the stands along with Poppy. I'm going to be growing a baby for this whole, the whole rest of the year. until February comes. So, we've got plenty to do. I think that after 32 years of rodeoing professionally, I can take the next 4 months and just simmer down. The timing couldn't be better for us. So taking it a little bit easy, watching our young horses go through the barrels. It's all just a beautiful time of growth. I've said forever and ever, personal growth, and then there's contribution where we're helping someone else. And then there's your own personal growth, and then it's your main focus of you contributing to someone else. So I'm in the middle of growth, and it's really, really amazing. Because of my growth, other people are having to contribute, and that changes their cycle of their life, and it's just a really beautiful thing. This journey where you guys have shared in our ups and our downs and all of our really crazy moments, we appreciate your support so much, and I can't wait to see what Unfiltered 6 brings.